Ever find yourself wondering how to, navigate this super fast-moving tech world, especially if you're aiming for one of those roles that sits right between development and quality? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. We're laying out the essential roadmap for becoming a software development engineer in an SDET for 2025. Our mission really is to cut through all the noise online and just focus on the most important skills, the key tools, and the best learning paths, all based on the sources we've dug into for you. Okay, so let's unpack this first. Yeah. What exactly is an SDET, and why is this role so crucial right now?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. The SDET is fundamentally a hybrid role. It blends serious software development skills with, let's say, advanced quality assurance know-how. Their main focus, it's all about automation, building quality, and creating test solutions that can actually scale. And it's not just about finding bugs. That's the old way. They work really closely with the devs, with DevOps, product teams. The goal is to prevent bugs from even getting into the code base.
Oh, okay, so it's proactive. Exactly. The real value isn't just bug hunting. It's architecting systems that are just inherently more resilient. It changes the whole team's mindset, making quality part of the build process itself.
That makes a lot of sense. Building quality in, not just inspecting it out.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So with that foundation, let's talk tools, skills. The sources we looked at cover a really wide range.
Yeah.
Where do we start? What are the absolute must-haves? Programming, I guess.
Definitely. Programming proficiency is non-negotiable. You're looking at languages like Java, Python, or JavaScript. Those are the big three usually. And you really need a solid grasp of object-oriented programming, OOP. That's crucial for writing code that's clean, reusable, maintainable.
Not just scripts, but actual software development principles.
Precisely. And understanding data structures, algorithms that helps you write efficient code for your tests. Then, test automation frameworks. Huge area. The sources point to quite a few. For web testing, you've got the classic Selenium, but also newer players like Cypress and Playwright gaining a lot of ground. If you're dealing with mobile apps, then Appium is pretty much the standard.
Okay.
And for APIs testing the connections behind the scenes, tools like Postman or libraries like Rest Assured are essential.
APIs are huge now.
Oh, absolutely. And then there are BDD frameworks like Cucumber. These let you write tests in, almost plain English, which helps bridge the gap with business stakeholders.
Wow. Okay, that's a solid technical base. So beyond the core coding and those frameworks, what's the next really critical piece for an SDET? DevOps keeps coming up.
It's huge, absolutely critical. Understanding DevOps practices and CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, you just have to know it.
Right.
That means getting comfortable with tools like Git for version control. It's essential. And CI/CD platforms like Jenkins, maybe GitHub Actions, GitLab CI. The whole point is integrating testing into the development pipeline, right?
So testing happens automatically, continuously.
Exactly. It's embedded throughout the life cycle, not just some phase at the end. Also getting some familiarity with containerization, Docker specifically, that's becoming important too. And cloud. Can't forget cloud platforms. AWS, Azure, GCP test environments themselves are moving there.
Makes sense.
And the scope is broadening too. Our sources also mention performance testing, think JMeter, and even security testing basics with tools like OWASP Bades AP. It's about covering all the bases for robustness.
That is a lot of ground to cover. It sounds incredibly valuable, but maybe a bit daunting. So for someone thinking, okay, I want to do this, what's the recommended learning path? How do you even start to tackle all this?
Yeah, it can seem like a mountain, but the progression suggested in the sources is pretty logical, actually. You start with the foundations, software testing principles, basic programming fundamentals. Get those solid first.
Okay, basics first.
Then move into hands-on experience. Start automating. Pick a framework for UI testing, maybe one for API testing, and really get your hands dirty. Build something.
Practical application.
Absolutely. And then the next step is integrating that into the DevOps world. Understanding the CI/CD pipelines, how your automated tests fit in, how they provide feedback quickly, and honestly, the biggest tip echoed across all the sources: continuous learning. Tech changes fast. You have to keep practicing, build projects, engage with the online communities. That's how you stay current and really accelerate your growth.
Makes sense. It's a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
So once you've built up these skills, what does the career path look like? Where can being an SDET take you?
Now, the growth potential is pretty significant. You typically start as an SDET, then progress to maybe a senior SDET role. From there, paths often lead to becoming a test architect, designing the overall test strategy for complex systems, or even a QA manager, leading teams and really shaping the quality culture within an organization.
So real strategic impact down the line.
Definitely. It's a role with increasing influence.
Okay, one last thing. The sources also gave us a peek into the crystal ball. What are the big trends shaping this SDET role as we look towards 2025 and even beyond?
Yeah, the future looks pretty dynamic. AI in testing is a big one. We're talking things like self-healing test scripts, maybe intelligent test case generation.
So AI helps, doesn't replace.
That seems to be the consensus. It's about augmenting the SDET, freeing them up from repetitive tasks to focus on more complex, strategic quality challenges. Also, this idea of shift-left testing is getting even stronger, pushing testing earlier and earlier into the development cycle. Prevent bugs, don't just find them later. API-first development means API test automation is becoming even more central, and cloud-native testing strategies are obviously following the move to cloud-native apps. And one more thing, the rise of codeless or low-code test tools. These aim to make test creation simpler, maybe allowing more team members to contribute to quality assurance.
So wrapping this all up, what does this really mean for you out there, thinking about software quality or maybe this SDET path?
I think the clearest message from everything we looked at is that the SDET role is constantly evolving. It demands this really unique mix. You need the development skills, the coding chops, but also this deep, almost intuitive understanding of quality. It's not just about running scripts anymore. It's about engineering quality into the product from the very beginning, making it part of the development DNA.
So here's something to think about. How might these trends we discussed, AI, shift left, cloud native, or how might they fundamentally change the way we all think about software quality and development, maybe sooner than we expect? Hopefully this deep dive gives you some good pointers on maybe what area of this roadmap you might want to explore.